Alright, we're just going to do a long form video. I don't have reception back here to do a live stream. I'm going to do a video and I'll upload it later today. But anyways, I'm going to title this Cutting Firewood. I don't know if you can really see. Let me loosen that up a little bit. Right over there, I've already cut down one. I meant to try to get a live stream going when I first got back here and had the tripod set up, and then I made a phone call and forgot to get the live stream going. Anyways, got one down. I cannot, and it's where I can back the truck right to it and pull it out, or I can cut it into firewood lengths here and load the back of the truck with it. But I've got about a dozen more that I need to cut down. I'm going to cut down all of them in between this little road area and the stream bed that's over here. Everything in that section is going to come down because in the future I'm going to dig a pond right there, and my goal is to dig the pond next to the stream bed, not necessarily right in it. So next one to come down is going to be that cedar. Most of the top branches and top of that cedar are all going in the brush pile, and the trunk of the cedar I'll take and cut into firewood. I don't like burning a lot of cedar, but you can see there's only like 2 cedars that are worth any firewood in this whole section, so that's not a bad amount. I got my Stihl MS271, what I use to cut that down. Like I said, this cedar, I'm going to limit a little bit, clean it up, and then I'll get to cutting it down. That's got it limbed. I've just got to clean up those limbs. Once I clean the limbs up, then I can get it cut down. Turn this a little bit to show where I'm throwing it. Kind of see, trying to keep that cedar in view, but also the brush pile I'm throwing it to. Alright, that last one was a little heavy. Okay, that's cleared out enough. I can get around it without tripping too much. Still recording? Yeah, we're still recording. Looks like, anyways. Yep, 7.5 minutes into it. Alright. Well, didn't exactly go as planned. That trunk of that cedar rolled when I went to cut the first branch off of it. And when it rolled, it bound the thing and popped the chain off the top. So I'm going to pause this, leave it sitting here, but I'm going to pause it, walk back up to the truck where I've got my tools, and I'm going to get chain put back on, and we'll go from there. All right, I am back. I got the chain, so you can see, chain is back on the saw, and let's go back to cleaning that up. Before I can even move that, I got to cut it again. So. Got a couple of limbs, now I got to toss those aside and make room to get to the others. it's now all limbed up, and yeah, it's limbed up. I just got to throw all those limbs into the brush pile. Let's go ahead and turn it and focus on what I'm actually working on without trying not to get the glare onto the camera. So it's back here in the shade of a big red oak. Whatever. Okay. That nut. Uh-huh. that one's cut and limbed. Can't even see it from here. Let's move a little closer. Cut and limbed, and that trunk of the cedar is laying right there. All limbed and good to go. And that brush pile's getting bigger again. It should go down. It'll shrink down over the next couple years. But anyways, I started that brush pile 3 years ago, and I've been adding to it whenever I clear stuff in this area. Okay, so this little cedar to the right of the oak is what's going to come down next. You can see that oak is growing all one direction away from where that dead tree, standing dead one, is. So it's going to fall that, this way. I'm going to try and get it to fall into the clearing here and not hang up in that big cedar. But I got to cut the little cedar down right next to it, and then I'll notch it over this way and try and get it to fall basically right to where my saw is at now. So got some shade right here to set the camera in so we don't get the sun angle real bad. Oops, wrong. Well, actually, it doesn't hurt to have it going up because you're trying to see the tree fall. All right, cut the little cedar down and get it out of the way, and then I'll cut that red oak. That's probably going to be the last one for today, because I still got to drag them out of here and get them bucked up. Anyways, I've got those 3 ready to be drug out of here. And that one is, I got to clean up all those brush pile, the little branches I cut off. Throw it in the pile behind the camera. So let's set this back this way in the shade again. The reason I try to keep the camera in the shade is because I have a crack on one of my lenses, or on the covering to the lens, and it puts a really bad glare on the camera when the sun shines on it. pile gets big, it's hard to throw them up there. All right, just looking at that tree. I think that was one of them that I want to try to save a saw log out of. It's fairly straight, and I've been needing some 3/4 inch boards to do the fascia on my house that I'm building. And that would work great for those. So I think I'm going to hold off on cutting that one down until I talk to my friend that's got the sawmill, because definitely the top of that tree, let's see if we can lean this back a bit, the top of that tree is definitely all going to get cut up for firewood. There's lots of branches big enough to cut for firewood, and the trunk everywhere above that first main branch that goes off to the north there, that's all going to get cut for firewood. But below that, that's a decent sized trunk for getting some 3/4 inch rough sawn boards that I can use for my fascia board on the around the house. So yeah, that being said, I'm going to hold off until I get a hold of my friend with the sawmill, and yeah, and then when I do get it cut down, I'm going to probably just get it drug out of here and propped up, or get it once I get it limbed up and whatever, then I'll get the log on the trailer. But till then, that one will just stay for a little bit. But getting the 2 cedars down and that smaller oak, actually I'm not even sure it was an oak, but anyways, that smaller one down that was, so the smaller oak or whatever it was, the hardwood there that I cut down. Sorry, not that great with the types of trees. Anyways, that smaller one, the root ball was completely eroded. It was actually hanging out over the edge of the ravine. Let's see if we can see it. I had to stand on the edge of the ravine and kind of hold the saw out over it to cut this down. I've covered it up with some brush because the brush rolled off the pile. But you can kind of see, well, maybe you can't see it all, but you can see the trunk here, the ravine there. The edge of the ravine is somewhere under this brush pile. That trunk hangs out over that. Like there were roots coming from that back into the embankment, but this tree was going to fall at some point anyways. One or two more decent floods down through this ravine and it was going to just fall over once the roots gave way. And I'm sure that's why this one died, this big tree. Its root ball is completely undercut. Yeah, and that's part of the reason I wanted to use this area. I mean, yeah, you got a decent stream going right here. It rained all day yesterday, so it's flowing really good today. I'm not worried about anything on the other side of the stream so much, but this side I want to dig out a big pond right here. So all of the trees in this area are in the way of digging that pond. So I've got this one, those four smaller ones, which are all just going to be firewood, but I need to cut this one down before I cut any of those four down because I need somewhere to drop them to, and they will hang up in this one if I cut them down first. And then I've got 2 or 3 more back there that are going to come down as saw logs, and then the tops of them. So you can see that big one right there. It's right in the way where the pond's going to go. It'd be awesome to kind of leave it as an island on the pond, but because it's a really nice shade tree, but I don't want to completely shade the pond, and I want to be able to grow some grass and food plot around the pond. And I'm just trying to keep the pond here, you know, this stream dries up. If the stream didn't dry up over the summer or when it's not raining, you know, if it was whatever, if it flowed all year round, then I probably wouldn't bother with a pond. I might just dam up a little spot of the stream so I can have a little puddle, whatever, that the horses can water in, the animals anyways. But because it dries up, I want to dig a pond off to the side of it, back up the stream a little bit so it'll flow into the pond, but not completely stop the flow of the stream when it does rain. And so in order to do that, I need to get rid of all these trees in this area so I can get an excavator. You can see this tree right here, its root ball is almost completely washed out also, right on the edge of the stream, or pretty much washed out. See how well you can see it there. Sorry about the glare for a minute. Yeah, it's right, leaning over the edge. So that one's got to come down, and that's right where I want to dig this stream at. But I'm going to have to rent a big excavator and get back in here and just dig everything this side of the stream for about 30 feet, 40 feet wide this side, maybe 60 feet long, and then pile the dirt up. Anyways, let me walk this way. So down this way, yeah, this tree right here is going to go, that one's going to go, but those are both going to make saw logs. This one might be able to get a saw log out of a little bit of it. You know, I'm just trying to cut 3/4 inch boards, so I might get a few out of that. But currently my stream crossing is right down here, and I want to make it up here. So I'm going to back up. Basically, the dirt I dig out, I'm going to fill in this hole. So it's going to back the stream up some, but there's a diversion around it, around this there's basically a little island where 2 streams flow in, and when it's really flowing hard, it flows around. So I'm going to fill this area up about 2 or 3 times as wide as the truck, you know, maybe 24 feet wide or something. Just fill this whole area up all the way across. So most of the small trees on that little island are going to come down, And then where it crosses the other way, we walk over there. You can see the stream currently flows this way, flows on top of all the rock and flows down. But then the side branch of it comes in right here. And that, what I was just showing, actually flows around and into here. So my thought was, when I dam up that section, I'll fill in this a little bit to get it up to about, a little bit lower, throw a culvert pipe in there, get like a 32 foot long or something, 10 inch, 12 inch culvert pipe, and throw it in here. And then the pond will drain this way and still continue on with the stream flow. And I'll back up that whole other side there as a pond. And then every time it rains, I'll have water flowing in and flowing out, and keep the water in the pond fairly fresh. But between rains, it should hold quite a bit of water. And I won't have to worry about hauling water for my animals that are back here to drink, which currently, that's what I've been doing all summer long, is hauling water to fill water troughs, because, like I said, this stream dries up every summer. All right, well, that's, I guess, enough of that. I'm going to end this video. I'm going to bring the truck down here and drag those 3 small logs out of here to my firewood staging area, and they'll be getting ready to cut up later. There's a tree that fell there in one of the recent storms, sorry, and but it's so rotten on the bottom, there's no good for firewood or anything. But it's on the ground there. The top of it was still alive, but the whole basically trunk was rotten. So I don't know, obviously there was some thin area of it that wasn't completely rotten and was alive still. But yeah, anyways, that's just gonna have to get cut and thrown in the brush pile. And yeah, along with all of this small scrubby stuff here. But the goal is to have all of this cleared out in this section between where I drive right here and the stream, have all of it cleared out by next summer, or next spring, by the spring anyways, so I can, when I get the excavator, I can come in here and cut it all, or dig it all up for a pond. All right, it's almost 40 minutes long. This is going to take a long time to upload already. So if you guys like this content, be surprised if you stayed till the end here. But if you like it, please hit the like button, please subscribe, share it. I know it's just random talk about firewood and ponds, but thank you.